At this time every year, Michigan Replay usually previews the Big Ten schedule and the key players the Wolverines will face during the season. Well, this year is a bit different. The reason? Penn State. The Nittany Lions of Joe Paterno joined the ranks this season, and that makes a lot of people in Big Ten country nervous. But that feeling is also prevalent for the big guys out east.
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. I'm not sure we can handle a conference mentality, that tough game week in and week out. It's going to be very challenging.
The big challenge for Paterno is the weekly grind of the Big Ten. The week-in, week-out big game is something they've not had to deal with in the past. But that's what is directly in front of them now.
We've got to be willing to play a tough football game every week. We're talking about consistency. We're talking about, if you kick the ball well and you play good defense, you can stay in a game, even when you may be a little flat emotionally. You try to prepare your kids for what's going to happen and hope. But I'm not sure we're ready to do that yet.
Like every other coach, Paterno sings the blues pretty well. But one thing is also very clear after listening to this veteran coach. The move to the conference is exactly where Paterno feels his program should be.
Well, I think we belong in a conference. I think the future of any football program, 10 years ago, I analyzed where we were going and said, hey, with the way things are going, you better be in a conference, because if you lose a game or two, you got to have something that you're shooting for, because with all the games going to be on television, whatever, your fans are going to lose interest. If there isn't a game that's important, there's only one Notre Dame. I mean, and I'm not sure how long they can stay as a non-conference team, particularly their basketball team. But we just looked at our whole program, looked at the goals of our institution academically and otherwise, and felt, hey, we should be in a conference, and the number one conference for us was the Big Ten. I mean, but we had not gotten in the Big Ten, we seriously would have looked around maybe for another conference.
Joe Paterno obviously very complimentary about joining the conference and his brother schools, but his addition and Penn State's addition to the football wars really throws a monkey wrench into the power structure, doesn't it?
Well, there's no question about that, Jim. They bring a lot of rich tradition in winning in football, and obviously an outstanding coach with a solid program, and those players are very, very excited about this.
And you're very excited about playing Penn State, but the interesting thing about their addition, it also changes the way the schedule looks. Let's take a look now at who doesn't play who in the Big Ten. For instance, you don't play Northwestern Indiana. Penn State has Purdue and Wisconsin off their schedule. Wisconsin gets a break. They don't have to play Penn State or Iowa, and Iowa gets a break. They don't have to play Ohio State and Wisconsin.
Right. I don't know how you're going to come up with the true champion some years when you have people not playing two opponents. I think that's going to be a little bit odd, but it's one of the things that we have to live with, and one of the things you don't always like. If you're going to be the champion of a conference, let's everybody play one another and let's see who the winner is.
I agree. And the other thing that's a little bit odd, and I don't think this is odd by accident, who gets open dates prior to games? Iowa has an open date prior to the game with you. Michigan State has an open date prior to the game with Michigan. Penn State has an open date before Michigan and Ohio State now.
And back-to-back.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's going on?
They have a week off before they play us.
Who's getting the break here?
Well, I don't know. You can set your own schedule, and again, that's something that's a little unfair, but it's going to happen once in a while, as it does in the NFL. But you'd like to think the scheduling would be a little bit more accurate as far as deciding on who is a true conference champion. But you can sit around and cry about those things, which we have the hardest schedule, as it was designed that way because we had the best record over the last 10 years. So they give us the hardest schedule. But not only did they do that in relationship to everybody else's schedule and open dates, we also took one and slap on the face, so to speak.
It's going to be tough, but again, that's the way it is at Michigan. It always is tough, and the Wolverines, I'm sure, will rise to the challenge. Don't go away. We'll be back. We're going to scout the Iowa Hawkeyes. They're coming up next week. That's next one. Michigan Replay continues.